back
Yep.
and run the ball, and then the play action starts to happen, and then just the team will start to flourish.
Yeah, I mean,
Kirk is confident. He's got the run game. He's got the offensive line. He's protected. Pryor's going to grow and develop. You could set yourself up for a good run at a Super Bowl in the next 6-7 years with Kirk.
I agree. I completely agree. Rob Kelly's not the guy to do that. Rob Kelly, I love his work ethic. He's not an elite running back. He's not the kind
He's
of
number
guy.
2 back.
Yeah, he's a great change of pace back. You need somebody else. I mean, honestly, I would love to still have Alfred Morris. Look at what Alfred Morris did for RG3. Now you can credit a lot of that to the scheme in general, which was just nobody knew it in 2012. Nobody's running read option, and whenever anybody played the Skins, nobody knew whether we were running or passing, and that helped a lot. It helped Griffin and Morris a lot, but still, I'm just, if you have somebody giving you the production that Morris gave you in 2012, your quarterback has, I mean, what, a tenth of the pressure on him to carry the offense, a tenth of the pressure to pick up that first down of a drive, and in the NFL, momentum is everything. Honestly, it's a momentum based game, and the Skins.
The best way to kill momentum, if we're talking about in a game, the best way to kill momentum is with the run game. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the best way to turn momentum to your favor, and it's the easiest way to lose momentum is if you try to go out there and run the ball 3 times and you go 3 and out because you couldn't pick up 10 yards with 3 run plays. So yeah, no, I couldn't agree with you more. Let's go ahead at this point and let's move into a little bit of DFS talk. Obviously, we're not going to get too in-depth. We're going to save that for DFS Cash Project's new podcast this week, which is coming out on, what, Friday?
Tomorrow afternoon.
Yep, tomorrow afternoon. You'll hear...
Which is Friday.
You'll hear
the 15th.
Yep. You'll hear our very own Cory Thesson on that, featured with Brady Gillmore. They'll be breaking down every single matchup, giving you the best plays from each matchup. I did listen to Michael Rappaport's podcast today, breaking down matchups. I have a couple questions for you. Obviously, the Green Bay game, Green Bay Atlanta, that's got to be a big game to stack, right? I mean, that's going to be a shootout.
This week we have 2 of the highest Vegas point totals that we will have all season. The Green Bay Falcons game has a 53.5 total, and that hasn't really changed too much, but that is a massive total, and that could easily go over. We could see a 30-30 plus score game here. And then we've got the Patriots and the Saints in New Orleans. And we can
Brady's
take them.
Got to have a bounce back, right?
It's tough here because we saw what they did in week 1. Anytime they got within 15 yards, they gave the ball to Gillislee and
true.
said a prayer. So that does scare me that his touchdown equity isn't that large. And that game has a 54-point total, and that has gone up 2 points. Anytime you see a Vegas line go up 2 points, that's really good. That means something's up. And if something goes down 2 points, you're like, uh-oh, something must be wrong. Now, we have a huge narrative going on, and that is Brandon Cooks returning to New Orleans and playing in that dome. The dome where Cooks went off so many times in his career in New Orleans. I think he's 8,300 on DraftKings. He's definitely worth a shot. And then in that Atlanta game, you've got Julio Jones. If you have all your players in these early games, the 1 and 4 o'clock games, and you have in your caching going into that Sunday night game, the odds are you're going to be watching your score and your overall profit go down throughout the night. Every drive, you are going to be losing money because this game is going to be high owned. Atlanta was one of the worst teams against pass catching running backs, and that means Ty Montgomery is full chalk. Everybody's going to be playing him at 5,800. I expect a massive game, and then Julio's 9,200. In the games where Julio didn't eclipse like 15 DK points, some stat like that, he had just crazy games the next game. So, and this is an eruption spot for Julio Jones. Who on Green Bay can cover Julio? Nobody.
Nobody.
And then you can also roster Hooper at tight end. He had 2 catches for like 88 yards and a touchdown last week. Now you certainly are scared of the catches, but Atlanta definitely is going to use him more, as he ran 47 routes last week and only blocked for a run or just a pass block on 2 snaps. So that's huge. Green Bay is not particularly good against tight end. On the Green Bay side, you have Aaron Rodgers, you have Ty Montgomery, you have Jordy Nelson. Those 3 are all in play. Overall, this week is a very interesting week. Definitely better than fluky week 1.
Yeah, talk a little bit about how weird week 1 was, because as I mentioned earlier, I cashed with lineups of 148 and 131. I made 2 lineups, both of them cashed in double ups and in GPPs.
Well, I can tell you one thing: I didn't cash in anything. The first thing that was just completely different than last year was Team Jam-A-Min failed miserably. And last year, Team Jam-A-Min was playing Le'Veon Bell and David Johnson in cash. That didn't work at all. David Johnson dislocated his wrist. He's out for 12 weeks. So Team Jam-A-Min is no longer Team Jam-A-Min for a long time. Le'Veon Bell was obviously being punished for holding out all offseason. And Mike Tomlin had hinted that he'd do something like that way back in the preseason, but I completely forgot about it and went Bell and cash. That didn't work. Le'Veon Bell went off. Not Le'Veon Bell. Shady McCoy had a 20-point game. He should have had more. He didn't play on one running play, and guess what that was? That was a Mike Tolbert touchdown. So that is incredibly tilting.
Killed so many owners.
And then we had the Rams chalk against the Colts.
Yep.
Now, Aaron Donald reported for camp, and I was on him. And then they said he's not going to play on Sunday. I was like, oh, they're a completely different unit without Aaron Donald. That's not going to – I mean, they're going to score points, just not have 2 pick sixes. And then the Texans D, Narrative Street. I was in a Ferrari flying down Narrative Street to all the monies. Leading the way was J.J. Watt pulling my Ferrari.
Yep.
And they had no excuse. The stadium was packed. The fans were wild. They were looking for hope. J.J. Watt ran out with the American flag, and I was just sitting there rubbing my hands
I'm sure you're
together.
counting your money. You're counting your money. Yeah.
This is it. And they had a whopping 0 fantasy points against Blake Bortles. What?
Tough, man.
The wide receivers didn't hit. And then we need to have a funeral. If you guys want to listen to a funeral tomorrow morning on the podcast with me and Cory, we're gonna have funeral music. There's gonna be organs. There's gonna be tears. There's gonna be flowers. And can you take a guess at who this funeral is for?
Why don't you just go ahead and tell us, Brady?
It is rest in peace. God bless his soul. Todd Gurley.
R.I.P. in peace. Todd Gurley.
Trent Richardson 2.0. He had the promising rookie season. He looked like a freaking beast. And then he blocked me on Twitter. Ever since then, things haven't been going good. And I think he's gotten worse. If you watch, he had a good game. I rostered him. He had 20 points. If you go back and watch that game, he's bad. He's bad. He had 19 carries for 40 yards against the Colts.
Hashtag bad at football.
He's hashtag bad.
Yeah.
He has no vision. He has no explosiveness. He has no quickness.
He has the
he has
gifts
nothing.
that God gave him, his size and athleticism, and that's about it. Honestly,
it's sad,
frustrating to watch.
And McVay, I mean, he's become the only good thing that's happened to Todd Gurley is he's become better at catching the ball, which is the reason why he had 20 points.
Yep.
He had 40 yards rushing, a touchdown, and then like 5 catches for 50 yards or something like that to get him to 20. He's Trent Richardson 2.0. He couldn't see a hole if it was 50 foot wide right in front of his face. He'd run backwards. That's Todd Gurley for you.
Yeah.
So rest in peace. I won't be rostering him probably ever again.
Yikes.
Unless he somehow gets baptized and revived and comes back to life as the Todd Gurley I know and love who dominated his rookie year.
Yikes. All right, before I let you go, Brady, I do want to just do one more segment with you. We're going to call it Fact or Fiction. I'm going to give you some takes that I'm sure a lot of people are having after week 1, and you tell me whether that's a fact or whether that's going to be a fiction that people are lying to themselves and that people could make mistakes on. So, number 1, obviously the biggest scorer from week 1, Kareem Hunt is the truth. Fact or fiction?
Fact. Kareem Hunt, he has everything Todd Gurley doesn't. He has quickness, he has vision, he's athletic. Todd Gurley's kind of athletic, but this man's a beast. And you saw he didn't play like a ton of snaps for the Chiefs, but when he was in, they used him, and they used him like they used to use Jamal Charles in his prime. This man, he's going to be the Kansas City lead back for a long time. Enjoy him at his 6,800 price, by the way, while you can, because pretty soon he's going to be up there with the greats, with Ezekiel Elliott and Bell and just Melvin Gordon, all those guys.
Yep. I agree. All right, fact or fiction? The Jaguars and Rams are the top 2 defenses in fantasy sports.
Oh, that's easy fiction. Easy fiction. Denver, Seahawks, Giants still. Now the Jacksonville defense with AJ Bouye and Jalen Ramsey, with that defensive line, with Fowler, with Calais Campbell, who had 4 sacks in one half, Barry Church, that defense has some serious potential, but I'm not ready to proclaim them as the top defenses in the league, or fantasy-wise.
Fact or fiction? Leonard Fournette is an RB1 option.
Fact. Anytime you can get a running back with 25 to 30 touches, he's an RB1. Fournette looked really good against the Texans, which just it amazes me to say that. It amazes me that I'm saying that right now. His role in the pass catching offense should grow. He's probably going to develop that skill a little more. But the dude is a man amongst boys. And we were saying that in college, and now I'm confident saying that in the NFL. RB1.
Agreed. All right, last one. Fact or fiction? Matthew Stafford is having a career renaissance and is now a top 5 fantasy option.
I'm not willing to say top 5. I'm willing to say top 10. And I wouldn't call it a career renaissance. The problem with Stafford is he hasn't had a real team built around him. The defense is still leaky. And the dude has, I don't know the exact stat on fourth quarter comebacks. Last year, I'm pretty sure he had 8 fourth quarter comebacks, and he started the season off with 1 on Sunday. So you got a quarterback who isn't going to go down easy, which is good, because you see these quarterbacks start to get blown out in fantasy, and then they just kind of give up. Stafford's a fighter. He's going to throw touchdowns when he's down. He's a gunslinger. He's definitely, especially with the emergence of Kenny Golladay. Now, if Kenny Golladay is a real player here, Stafford's touchdown equity with Amir Abdullah and Theo Riddick in the backfield is massive. With that run game, if they score 28 points, the odds are Matthew Stafford's going to throw 4 touchdowns. So I think he's definitely in the conversation for quarterback 1, top 10, not top 5.
Nice. All right, I'm going to throw out a few names here, just rapid fire. Give me quick hits on these guys. Sam Bradford.
Offensive line question mark? If the offensive line is good, Sammy Sleeves is good.
Trevor Siemian.
Mediocre.
Mike Gillislee.
He's a bad running back in a great situation, high touchdown equity, but nothing much else.
All right, 2 more. You got Stephon Diggs.
Stephon Diggs, future best receiver in the league in the next 3 years.
All right, and Tariq Cohen.
Tariq Cohen?
Yep.
Cohen.
Yeah.
He's a fucking boss. He catches passes outside in the slot. He's a focal point of the offense. They tried to hide him in the preseason on purpose to get him touches week 1, and in the regular season, he's here to stay.
Perfect. All right, Brady, any final thoughts?
Play Julio Jones. Play Ty Montgomery, play Phillip Rivers and Keenan Allen, and prosper.
Perfect. Look at that. Hey, everybody, listen to Brady real quick. He's going to tell you where to listen to DFS Cash Project.
Wait, what?
Tell him where to listen to DFS Cash Project.
I was a little zoned out there. You can follow us at DFS Cash Project on Twitter. You can follow me at Sports at DFS9, and of course that 9 is for Tony Romo. He will always be my Twitter at. You can find us on Apple Podcasts. Look up DFS Cast.